No. All right, let's move on to the NFC final.
All right.
Come
Dibo,
on.
start us off in the NFC East. Who do you have finishing fourth?
NFC East. Uh, left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. I got
For
them
now.
number four. I got them
For
number
now,
four.
Redskins coming back.
No, no, it's not. That's not coming back.
Give the people what they want. Give the people what they want.
That is not. I don't care how many predictions you can make. That name's not coming back. But with that being out the way, I have them finishing fourth in the division with I believe 7 wins,
Ooh.
10-7. No, 7-10.
Ooh. I had them
Um,
fourth. Or go ahead.
yeah, the defense really good. Chase Young, he's coming back, but even then, still have one of the best D lines in the entire league, regardless of by Jonathan Allen. Secondary's good. Linebacking course kind of the weakest spot, but it's serviceable. On the offensive side of the ball, I'm expecting Sam Howell to be solid in his first year starting with Eric Bieniemy being their new offensive coordinator. I think he'll be a ton of help with his development as a NFL ready passer, and of course their wide receiving core, one of the best wide receiving cores in the entire league. Jahan Dotson breakout years incoming, and you add that alongside one of the best receivers in the league with Terry McLaurin. They're gonna cause some fireworks. And like in a much weaker division, like the NFC South, of course, they'd be a playoff team, but they're in the NFC East, which is arguably the hardest division in the entire league, in my opinion. So they're gonna play against the Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys, who all have more talented teams, better coached teams than them 6 times this season. It's a hard ask. It's a very hard ask for them to be a playoff team this year.
Yeah. I too had them finishing fourth in the NFC East. I just had them with a marginally worse record at 5-12. Um, Simply just because I do think that the Eric Bieniemy hire was great, but I think that basically this is Sam Howell's rookie year. I know he had some late burn towards the end of the season last year, but this is basically his rookie season. So I think that he will have some of those growing pains that you'll have to experience. Like you said, they are in a tougher division, so it's going to be hard for them to get those wins. Um, but they will win week one. Partly why I picked Sam Howell because he's going against a very poor team. Like you mentioned, they do have one of the better receiving cores in the league. Although I am a little worried about Terry McLaurin's turf toe, um, but they'll be solid. They'll be solid.
They'll be alright. I got them winning 6 games.
Oh, right in the middle.
They'll be cool, I guess. Like I think Sam Howell's probably gonna be the best quarterback that they've seen since Kirk Cousins. If that, yeah, that's fair to say. Well, Taylor Heineke, of course, one of the better quarterbacks of all time. But I think
Thank
that
you.
they'll be alright. They'll win 6 games, and they won't be like horrible. They'll be pretty competitive in nearly every game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Debo, who's your third place team?
The New York Football Giants at 10-7.
New Jersey Giants.
The New Jersey Giants,
Wait, you said 10-7?
Yeah.
Okay.
like
Okay. And
10
wow.
wins.
Yeah, they're getting 10 wins. That's what it means when I say 10-7. They're
Uh,
gonna get 10 wins, 7 losses. I don't know what I don't know what else you could like interpret from that.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, yeah, they could
Yeah,
get there.
but
They could get
yeah,
there.
but with the Giants, Brian Dayball, absolute dog. We saw that last year. No one expected the Giants to be a playoff team, let alone do as well as they did, getting 9-10 wins that year. Daniel Jones, year two in this offense, I think he's gonna have an even better year than he did last year as well, being more improved as a passer, especially with their new receiving threats. Jalen Hyatt, stud. He's gonna be a great wide receiver year one. Um, Wando Robertson, he's gonna come back too, especially. So two great young pieces on the outside as well. That's gonna be exciting for their team. They got Saquon back. Great. Their most valuable player on their offense by far. He's going to be great with their running scheme behind that O line with Andrew Thomas leading the way. The defense, Wink Martindale, great defensive mind. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to be a hard nosed team on that end. Lots of great pieces on that side of the ball as well with Dexter Williams, sexy Dexy. That's what they call him.
Nobody calls him that. You just are
I
second
think that, yeah,
attracted
they
to him.
call him sexy Dexy. I've heard
Y-
sexy Dexy before.
Yeah,
I've been on Giants
I'm
Twitter.
sure you have, Divo.
I've
Go
been
ahead.
on Giants Twitter. I've been on Giants Twitter before. They call him sexy Dexy. I mean,
Um,
yeah.
all right. On that note, I'll go with my pick. I do have the Giants finishing third as well. I think the other two teams just are head and shoulders above them. Um, but I'm actually expecting some regression from the Giants. I really like the excuse me, the Darren Waller pickup, and like you said, the Jalen Hyatt draft pick. But I got them going 8-9. I think they face a way tougher schedule than they did last year, in my opinion. Um, and while I do think that you do have a great coach in Brian Dable, I just think there's a serious cap on the team with Daniel Jones. And I know Mason's not gonna like to hear that, but
I
that's the truth.
concur. I concur completely, Matthew.
Nice, nice.
I concur completely.
How many
Any
wins do you
team
have
that has
to take?
Daniel Jones can't go that far.
No, no. They're division round exit.
If they even make
That's
the
like that's
playoffs.
like a peak two with him.
If they even make the playoffs. There's a world where they
because
don't make it.
because they're never going to win the division as long as Jalen Hurts is still in the Eagles and as long as the Cowboys are still the Cowboys with Micah Parsons. So you're asking him to go on the road, and he did a phenomenal job last year against the Vikings. He balled his ass out. He showed his ass against the Vikings, but we saw what happened against the Eagles, and I think that that's a more realistic version of what's going to continue to happen.
Real deal. I also agree with that. I
So how
think the
many wins do you have
Giants.
them getting?
Uh, 8 or 9.
Okay, so I'm glad you came prepared, Danny.
Yeah, I came completely prepared to be here. The 8 or 9 wins for them. Like just Matt, what Matt said, the team is good on coaching wise, and also they have great fit players. They may not have like the biggest names, but they just have names and players who fit well in the system that they have. But when your quarterback is Daniel Jones, you just don't have. There just isn't enough there for you to do. You're always going to be capped to at most second round,
Yeah.
at the very most.
And I also think like there's an aspect that changes for the Giants because last year they kind of were the sweetheart of the NFL in a sense like they kind of blossomed out of nowhere and so Daniel Jones became this like mobile QB. He's always been mobile, but like nobody really realized it as much as they did last year, and nobody really like took the Giants seriously last year. But I think heading into this year, they got this expectation, they got some film to watch on them now. I think that could lead to part of their regression.
That's what I've been saying, bro. This team and this whole situation with the Giants has reminded me so much of what happened with the Browns a few years back when Baker had that one really good year, and then Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year, and everything like that happened, and then Baker went ahead and shit himself the next year. I could see something like that very similar happening with the Giants. Daniel Jones had a great year last year. Brian Dable won Coach of the Year. This year they're having some real expectations to like kind of do something and look decent, and I could see them fucking. Well, I could see Daniel Jones ruining it for them.
Tough, because they just paid that man the bag.
Hey.
Dibo, who you got finishing second?
Them boys, the
Yep.
Cowboys at
Yep.
10-7.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hold on, you have the Cowboys having the same record as the Giants?
Yes, I do.
Explain.
Yes, I do. Oh, obviously they have one of the more stacked teams on paper on both sides of the ball. Notable names on offense and defense. They even got better with Stephon Gilmore on putting him alongside Trayvon Diggs at corner, and with their wide receiver core, they improved that with trading for Brandon Cooks in offseason as well. But them letting go of Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, and allowing Mike McCarthy to run plays in the offense, I just think that that's a sign of failure, man. And I know with their talent, the talent on this team, they're gonna be great. They're gonna get wins all of that alone, but I just don't know about this offense with McCarthy being the play caller. I really don't.
I think that's fair. I think it's a fair concern. I agree. I think Dak's going to have quite a bit of regression because he's losing Kellen Moore and because Mike McCarthy's calling the plays. I also think the running game will be worse with Tony Pollard coming back from a serious injury and losing Zeke, who is solid down the goal line, down near the goal line. Um, but I still have them going 13-4 just because talent wins at the end of the day. You have one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the league. Obviously, they got a better corner room now. You still have one of the best defensive coordinators in Dan Quinn. And the reason that that's going to be monumental to me is because they're going to have great starting field position, which they've had the last couple of years. Their defense is consistently one of the highest scoring defenses, with Trayvon Diggs being a ball hawk. And so I think that because they'll have those better starting field positions, they'll be able to take some of that pressure off Dak. And so Dak, although he's been an interception merchant at training camp like we've seen, I think he'll be serviceable enough to get the job done. I think honestly, Dak literally just has to be a game manager for how good this team is, for the weapons that they have. If he can literally play how a system quarterback plays for San Francisco, I think they'll be fine. So I have them going 13-4.
I mean, he did do that during his rookie year, like the earlier parts of his career. So I think that's a reasonable expectation for Dak
That's
this
the
year.
winning recipe for them.
I am disgusted with the dialogue surrounding Dakota Prescott in this chat right now. I'm disgusted. Why are we acting like this guy's an idiot? Like he's a turnover machine? Like he's this, that, and the third. Look at Dakota his whole career. He's never been someone that's been a dumb quarterback or an interception-prone quarterback. He's actually been
Last
someone.
year, they
Everybody has
lead
a
the league
bad
last year in
year.
interceptions with missing 4 games.
That is true.
See, they
yes.
need. That's just the untrained eye.
Listen.
That's the untrained
That's
eye.
the untrained eye right there. Y'all need to know something about Dak Prescott. He's not a turnover machine. He's actually in his career been pretty decent at keeping the ball and holding on to the ball. So why is everybody going off of one bad year when every quarterback in NFL history, elite or not, will always have a year where they throw more picks than what they know than what they're known for? Every quarterback will have a year, maybe even 2. Why is it that when Dak does it, it's a big deal? I'll tell you why. It's because of the team that he plays. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I don't like the Cowboys at all, actually. As soon as you put that star on your helmet, I just don't like you a little bit. But the conversation and the dialogue around Dak this whole offseason has just been very unfair, I feel. Which is why I have the Philadelphia Eagles finishing second in the division. And listen, that's not the only reason why. It's not the only reason why. Nobody in the NFC East has won it for 2 straight years in over 20-something years, bro. Nobody. Look it up. There hasn't been a repeat winner of the NFC East in over 20 years, bro.
That's such a BS stat. I hate that stat
It's not
so
BS.
much.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
It's
that's not a
pattern.
true stat either.
It's real. Look it up. I
That's such
swear
a
it's
B-
real. I wish it
That's
wasn't.
such
It's
a
real.
BS. I hate that. I hate that stat so much. That's
It's
so bad.
real, bro. There hasn't been a repeat winner in over 20 years, bro. It's called a pattern. Okay, y'all want to look at it and you want to say that, oh, he's being a conspiracy theorist. No, it's called a pattern. So the Eagles can't win it again. It has to be one of the other 3 teams. And I'll go with the Cowboys based off of talent to win that division.
But this man thinks there's a script in the NFL. He
It's not a
thinks the
script.
NFL is
It's called a pattern,
I will
Dibo.
say,
Y'all need
I
to
was pretty
learn.
close to having the Cowboys finish first. I mean, the difference between them and the Eagles was 1 game, but I think the Eagles are just a better team with a better
I
coaching
don't think they're a
staff.
better team, and I don't think they have the better coaching staff. Okay, maybe they do have the better coaching
You're
staff.
taking. Who are you taking? Who's better, Nick Sirianni or Mike McCarthy?
Sirianni.
easily.
Okay.
I'd take Sirianni.
I'll give Dan Quinn's probably one of the better, if not the best. Like he's a top 3 defensive coordinator at the
But
moment.
Desai should be fine as well for the Eagles, especially being that he runs essentially the same scheme as Gannon. Hopefully, he's just not as stupid, but
But
we'll see.
I understand where you're coming from, Danny, where you don't want to blame Dak Prescott, but I think that's just what we have to do after what's been happening.
No, I'm not doing that off of 1 year where he was injured. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, bro. You wanted to talk about the Cowboys' run game being weak, bro. Tony Pollard broke his ankle. That was it. He's fine. He's still one of the better backs in the
I think
NFL.
that's a bigger deal than what it's been made of. I think Dak's been talked about more than he probably should, but I don't think the running game has been talked about enough because I think the running game will fall off this year. They had one of the better running attacks last year, and I think Tony Pollard is going to struggle the first couple of weeks to find his form that he had last year. I do like the addition of Deuce Vaughn. That's why I've tried to trade for him a couple times from you. Unsuccessful though.
Unsuccessfully.
But man, I'm telling you, losing Kellen Moore and having Mike McCarthy call your place is a big loss.
Bro, I don't know who y'all niggas think Kellen Moore is, bro, and I don't know who you guys think Mike McCarthy is.
Why were the Cowboys one of the best offenses in the entire league when Kellen Moore was there? The big reason of that was because of his play calling.
If they were so good, why did they let him go?
Because they needed a scapegoat. Mike McCarthy needed a scapegoat so he wouldn't get fired. Let's be real.
He was never on the hot seat. Jerry wasn't ever going to fire him.
He'll be gone.
We know this. If Jerry
he won't. No, he won't. Bro, if Jason Garrett could stay as the head coach for an entire decade, nearly entire decade, then I'm pretty sure Mike McCarthy will have the same amount of lenience.
Also,
I don't know.
Like
this
Mike
is a much
McCarthy
more
didn't
talented
run
team
very
than Jason
well
Garrett ever
offenses
had,
in
my
Green Bay.
opinion.
Did Mike McCarthy not run very good offenses in Green Bay? Or was I just imagining that?
Look at the quarterback.
Oh.
Is Matt LaFleur a good coach?
Yes.
No.
Yes,
he's one of the most overrated coaches in my opinion.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Matt LaFleur is a good coach. Aaron Rodgers is just a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we talk about that?
But Jason Garrett also never had the roster that Mike McCarthy currently has.
What? What the
They had a good defense, but they did not have this defense. They never were this complete of a roster under him.
Oh my god!
Yeah, no, DeMarcus Ware was never there. DeMarcus Ware was
were they top 3 on both sides of the ball, talent-wise?
Are they now?
Yes, I would argue. Talent-wise, yes.
Okay.
No.
You can't argue that. It's the untrained eye, Dibo.
That's what it is, man. The untrained eye.
Like
the Cowboys were stacked back in the day. That's crazy.
Cowboys always have a good roster, bro. Every year they always have a good roster. Well, majority of years. But yeah, they'll win the division this year, and Cowboy fans will be on Twitter and be on social media. This is our year, we them boys, blah blah blah. Woo, 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 woo. But they'll win the division, but they won't make it too far in the playoffs as always. Something funny will just happen to them.
I got Eagles.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird though, because like when you look at the rosters, like okay, this team is gonna be at least in the NFC title game, but
yeah, the retool from a front office perspective was very good. Improved at getting a second corner, which was desperately needed because Anthony Brown giving up a touchdown was fucking horrible.
Don't forget about a PI.
Don't forget about those PIs, man.
PI too.
And then getting Brandon Cooks, I also felt was good because they just needed somebody opposite of CD who can like stretch the field and actually make a play. So I think that they have a very complete roster and marginally, like in the NFL, the margins are so slim. You have to be just marginally better than your opponent. They're marginally better than every opponent that they can face. So that's why I think that they'll win around 12, 13 games this year. The Eagles, I have them winning 11.
Their revenge against the 49ers when they play. I did pick them winning that game.